Let's return to one of our earlier stories, and the long walk is back. Michael Long has begun a journey from the Melbourne CBD to Windy Hill to the iconic Essendon Football Club's home location, and he'll be heading to Canberra over the next month in support of the Indigenous Voice to Parliament. Of course, comes 19 years after the original long walk, where Michael Long walked from Melbourne to Canberra to essentially raise the plight of Indigenous people and no doubt campaign for more First Nations recognition. So in this, the referendum year, the significance of this long walk is massive, given that it was launched this morning by the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews. He kicked in $250,000 to the Long Walk Foundation. And I'm extremely pleased to say we've got the director of the Long Walk here in the studio, Steve Michelson. Thanks so much. You must be pleased I pulled you off the walk at least to come in here to talk about it.
I won't lie, Simon. It's a long way to Canberra, so it's nice to have an early break and rest these legs. I can't say the same for Longy, though, who's still going. So
how's he going? How'd the walk begin this morning? We had the launch event at Town Hall.
Yep.
And I was there with yourself on the portico. Great support from the original long walkers.
Yep.
Kevin Sheedy was there
Yep.
alongside Daniel Andrews and Bill Shorten, the Lord Mayor of Melbourne, Sally Capp, Nova Peris. Who else was there? There was, you had prominent Indigenous leaders, the Yes campaigns, Dean Parkin.
Yep.
Big support, isn't it, for this walk?
Big support, and I think perhaps the most special thing about this morning was, of course, all of those dignitaries, taking time out of their busy weekends to come and show support for Michael. But it was actually really the more than 1,000 Victorians who I think we saw join Michael, certainly at the end of the event, to then start the walk through the city. People from all walks of life. It was just wonderful to see.
So it started at Town Hall. Can you just talk to us about to our national audience about where they're heading first? Because obviously it's got quite a significance for certain one-eyed supporters in Melbourne. But,
yes.
Why are they heading to Windy Hill and then off?
Yeah, that's right. So Michael, I left him at Royal Park in Parkville. So just on the outskirts, or the beginning of the outskirts of the city. And as you say, he's walking to Windy Hill. He'll be arriving there in around an hour.
Wow.
And he'll be met by Kevin Sheedy. And then we're having a bit of a snag in bread, which I think will be well earned after this morning's walk. And then tomorrow, starting again at Windy Hill with a bit of an activation with the Essendon Footy Club. And tomorrow, Michael will make his way to Epping and then onwards, up through regional Victoria, obviously into New South Wales and then into Canberra.
He's going to talk to people right across those towns along the way, isn't he? And did he do this last time? And 19 years ago, he was talking this morning about 19 years ago, one of the agencies that obviously would have been a voice to Indigenous people was abolished. And now there's this proposal to enshrine a voice in the Constitution. What's the difference between the walk last time and this time?
Well, it's a great question. And in some ways, some things are very different and then some things are very much the same. In terms of what's different, in fact, I was just thinking about this on the way here. Michael set off all those years ago in 2004 with two people. And as your viewers would know, by the end of the walk, he was joined by thousands of Australians. Today, he set off, in the company of many, many more than just two people. And so, our hope and his vision is that by the time he reaches Canberra on the 14th of September, he will be indeed joined by so many more Australians as well who are on that journey of reconciliation towards a yes vote on the referendum. And perhaps that's what does remain the same, sadly, between when he set off in 2004 and this time. And that is that, First Nations people in this country still do not have a voice, still do not have a seat at the decision-making table. And really for Michael, his vision is that everyone's welcome by his campfire, and the idea that we can get all Australians on this journey towards the referendum and the yes vote, which of course is likely to be announced next week to be the 14th of October.
Is Pat Farmer going to run past him? Are they going to cross paths at all? Because there's obviously, he's running around the country doing marathons every day and Michael's doing this walk. I think he's coming to Melbourne soon.
Yeah.
Pat, so could there be a little cross paths?
Yeah.
You're working on something.
It's a great question. And look, the truth is we are building this plane as we fly it. So we have been in touch with Pat's team, and obviously Michael and Pat have got a great relationship, and so we're trying to wrangle things so that they can cross paths. So hopefully that does happen. And look, of course, the other big part of all of this is that as Michael goes up the highway, towards Canberra, he'll be doing a number of town halls all of your viewers and, of course, all Australians are absolutely welcome to participate. There'll be more information on the website about not just those town halls, but the actual days of his journey.
Yep.
And we're also looking to engage with school children, football clubs, sporting clubs at large. So, everyone is welcome to join this adventure.
And what's the website?
The website is www.longwalkfoundation.com.au.
Ripper. I saw he had the runners on this morning.
Yeah.
Everyone had them, all brand new runners. No doubt they'll get worn out by the time they get to Canberra. And what date are they in Canberra?
So Michael arrives into Canberra on the evening of the 13th of September.
Okay.
But then on the 14th, he will actually, so he'll have a well-earned rest that day after what's been a long trek.
Yep.
And so then he, though, will meet the Chief Minister, the ACT Chief Minister, Andrew Barr, on the 14th, and then walk up, actually over Federal Parliament House. I think he'll...
Oh, they're going to let him over the top.
Well, we're working on it.
Security gates now, which is a big shame.
Yeah, we're working on it. So I think he'll sort of tip his lid to elbow, and of course, Opposition Leader Peter Dutton. And that's a big important part of this I wanted to say is, this is a bipartisan effort, It's not just all about one-sided politics and progressive politics. Michael and the Foundation have always been about including people from across the political spectrum. And once, though, we've walked over Parliament House to then finish at Manuka Oval and have a bit of music, have a bit of a feed and a bit of a celebration for what's been an incredible journey.
Oh, ripping sporting place to finish the long walk.
Indeed.
And, well, good luck to him and good luck to you.
Thank you.
We'll let you get back out there and back on the pavement, eh?
Good idea. Thanks very much, Simon.
Pleasure, Steve.
Appreciate
Steve
it.
Michelson there, the director of the Long Walk, and all the best to Michael Long and all the team out there that are on that great big journey.